We also have a grow your own program. So one of the challenges that we've seen in education is there is just not a whole lot of educators in the city of Kansas City. And so how can we close that gap and also maximize the resources that we do have? So we have kiddos that want to be teachers, specifically our high school students. So we have high school students that are supporting as student teachers in our elementary school buildings.
Oh,
They're
neat.
supporting in PE, they're supporting in art, they're supporting in first grade. They are getting real world hands on experiences with being teachers. And we also have a partnership with UMKC. So if our students decide that they want to be a teacher, we will pay for them their education and their certification so they can be teachers in our network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brighter Together podcast. My name is Janet Courtney, and I have two amazing guests today. Shannon Reasby is the literacy coach, and Jamon Finley is the principal at Quality Hill, which is a part of Crossroads Charter Schools in Kansas City, Missouri. Welcome, Shannon. Welcome, Jamon. Thanks for joining the podcast today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit. I'd like to highlight what you guys do a little bit. I know we have a great literacy program that we're going to talk about today, but I'd like to hear a little bit about your background, a little bit about what you do, so our listeners can know a little bit more about you before we dive into that. So Shannon, ladies first, if you could tell us a little bit about your background, that would be awesome.
I've been in education for 23 years. This is my 9th year at Crossroads, Quality Hill. I've taught kindergarten, first, second. I've taught a K1, 2, and 1 classroom. I've taught a 3rd through 5th grade classroom. So I've seen the whole elementary gamut and been a reading specialist, instructional coach at various schools as well. So
nice. Right when they're all learning to lead. This is right up your alley then, isn't it? Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
For sure, yeah. And Jamon, tell me about you. And I know you told me a little bit, but it sounds fascinating about how you got to where you are too.
Wonderful. I'd love to share. So, Jamon Finley, I've been in education for 8 years, and I've had a wide range of experiences. So I started out education at a small charter school in Kansas City, teaching 2nd grade. I then transitioned to the lowers. I taught first grade for two years, and then I transitioned to a high school, and I became their dean of students. And I did that during the pandemic, and it was a whirlwind of an experience. Imagine leading a school with high school students virtually, and we've never done that before.
Yep.
It was a year and a half of learning, frustration, love, and just a whole lot of things. When we came back in person from the pandemic, I transitioned to the Dean of Instruction. So I shifted from supporting with behavior to supporting with rigorous instruction. And from there, I did transition to their principal fellow. And that was a rich experience for me. But from there, I did take a break from education. I got an opportunity to do training and development for Southwest Airlines, and that opportunity allowed me to see the country in a different light and to see education from a different perspective, so working with adult learners. But I quickly learned that was not where my passion was. So I got an opportunity to come back to education in an interim capacity as a executive director for another small charter school. And I had the pleasure of fully staffing that school, fully enrolling that school, and putting in a really great place to thrive. And from there, I transitioned to Crossroads Charter Schools, and I got to work under an amazing leader, Dr. Griffin, and he supported me with my long-term trajectory goals, which was to lead a school, and I got a really awesome opportunity to come in and lead at Crossroads Charter Schools, Quality Hill, and I'm super
Nice.
excited for the 2025-2026 school year.
Great. Awesome. All right. Fantastic. You guys are doing some great things for education. And so tell me about this grant that you guys have been given and how that came about and how you're using that for your students.
Well, School Smart KC has this amazing opportunity for kids that in Kansas City, for the schools in Kansas City. Public school and charter schools working together. Our kids are transient. They sometimes, will come from a charter school to a public school or back to the charter school. So it's all of our students. Every kid in Kansas City is all of our students. But working together with everyone is super important, that we're not just leaving anybody out. The grant allows me to get into classrooms and help spread knowledge about literacy and help grow our teachers. And it also has an online platform that all of our school is able to use we chose a program called Mind Play. And Mind Play teaches the 5 components of reading plus grammar, which sometimes grammar is often forgotten now in a lot of the programs. And it's not emphasized enough. So it finds the holes that the students have, and then it helps fill those gaps. I piloted the program last year and was so excited to see the results that I received from my students. There was one group that I piloted it with that I only had them working on Mind Play, and that's the only instruction that they got from me as a reading specialist. And those kids, it filled in all their gaps and more. So that was so exciting to see. We were working on, one day the internet went out, and so I had brought them over and we were working on this skill of silent E, and 2 of the kids shouted out, "Hey, I'm doing this in Mind Play," which was really exciting because the testing and data that I had shown, this is where what they needed, as well as Mind Play caught it that they needed to fill those gaps as well. And the cool part about it, and you'll love this, is there are speech pathologists on the screen that are showing the kids how to make their sounds. So that is fantastic to have that online person to do that. It's not a live person, so kids can do it any time of the day, which is also a nice thing about this program. We don't have to rely on anybody else to be there. So that's exciting. And
I know there. Oh, no, go ahead. Please continue.
I was just going to say that my favorite part of the grant is it allowed us to hire 7 tutors. So each one of those tutors sees every kid one-on-one. They each have about 10 to 11 kids on their caseload. So that's 70 plus students that are being seen 3 times a week. Using the information that we have from our data is what the tutors are using to teach them, and the students are making growth. So that is super exciting. So we can guarantee they're getting 3 times a week small group instruction, one-on-one, and it's really making an impact on our students.
Tailored to each child. Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that what special education and education is supposed to be about, right? Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I'll tell you, as a speech pathologist, I know that there's a lot going on. I know there's studies going on with AI, with speech pathology, and we're never going to replace people. I know that, and I don't want to get nasty letters saying no. But I know they're studying it. I know they're doing some amazing things. There's some huge grants out there, as long as they haven't been cut. I don't know, but it's there are things that computers and AI can do that kids can learn from. I think that individual instruction, and I love the fact that you have those 7 people, because that piece of it, that tailors it to those kids. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Now, is it just at Quality Hill, or is it going to grow from there?
It is not. It is growing. There, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe there's 8 schools next year that are doing it. And so they're trying to expand it across all of Kansas City. And they are coaching me. So there are coaches from UMKC that are studying our data that we're gaining from this, and also helping me to grow as a coach so that I can spread that knowledge further with our teachers as well. So it's across the board. And they also have like a principal fellowship as well program that they're doing.
Nice.
So all of our principals go and are coached as well through this process.
So is there room for, like, Kansas City is a big space, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure somebody's going to hear this and go, oh, is there a way that other schools can get involved in this program as well within your region? I'm just curious.
Absolutely. I would have them reach out to School Smart KC and check in with them and see where the process can go next. So I think it is closed for this upcoming school year, but for future years as well.
Yeah. For sure. That's fantastic. And you're seeing a change in children's lives, right?
Already. And we really started implementing the program in January, and we have it for the next 3 years. So it's a 4-year grant. And then the goal is for us to figure out a way so that we can sustain that for future years.
Right. They're training you so that you can train others in the future and keep it going.
Right.
Giving you the money and the funds now so that you can figure out how to incorporate it. That makes sense.
And then how could we raise the funds to continue that process on as well? So
Jamon, it's always about the funds, isn't it?
That's part of this. That's part of the story, and that is so. I'm glad that you named that, because one thing that's a really big goal for the Crossroads Charter Schools Network is we want to be a destination for best practices and a destination for students to grow and learn and get really strong student outcomes. And so this grant is allowing us to really meet our kids where they are and also grow their capacity as instructional leaders so that they can continue to close those instructional those gaps in students.
Right.
One thing that's super exciting for our network is that we are getting this grant in our other elementary school, Central Street. So we'll be able to replicate a lot of the things that are happening over at Quality Hill over at Central Street. And with Quality Hill being the pilot for this program, we'll be able to iron out some of those kinks that we ran into this year so that we don't run into those things next year, and we can truly accelerate learning in a really dramatic way.
Right. Fantastic. That is fantastic. Now, tell me a little bit more about Crossroads Charter. How can you give me a little bit of history on it? I want to make sure we plug your school. I love the literacy program. You guys are doing amazing things. So let's talk about Crossroads Charter and what's happening there as well.
Shannon, you want to share? Shannon's been at the school a lot longer than me, but I can feel it where she doesn't catch it.
Our superintendents, Tyson McDowell and Dean, they started our school. I can't speak to how long. I should be able to know how long Crossroads has been open. I know that, but they started from the ground up. They really started from, they were painting rooms the day before school started, literally getting all of their things, from the ground up, just like any, the schools have a lot of behind the scenes things that they do to get a charter up and running. Mm-hmm. So they did an outstanding job growing our schools, and then they were able to add on Quality Hill, which, like I said, this is our 9th year of being open for Quality Hill. So it's been a fantastic opportunity to be there from the beginning at Quality Hill, to be able to grow them and see how, how we've been able to stretch and grow. And then they added the high school. So our students are able to go, we have we call a sixth grade center, which is at Central Street, and all of our sixth graders come together in a a middle school type of situation in a way, like they're learning how to be in middle school. And then we have our CPA has 7th through 12th all in one building, and so they have that laid out there as well. So we are a K-12 program, which is
that's good. Yeah, I was wondering if you went. It's interesting. What I've observed in charter schools is they start with the little, and then as the kids grow, the school grows with the kids. So
yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's super exciting.
But to build on what Shannon said, so we have 3 campuses. We have Central Street, which is a K through 6 school with the 6th grade center that Shannon mentioned. So that is just an inclusive space that supports students in transitioning from elementary school to secondary school. So they get to change classes, they get multiple teachers, they get,
lockers.
Yeah, big deal, right? Yeah. All those cool grown-up things, right?
Yes, you get to see the frustration of trying to open up a locker for the first time and the third time, and then them standing on these little stools because they're too short to use them. So you get to see that. At Quality Hill, so we are a PACE, so that's like a transitional kindergarten space, and so transitional kindergarten through 5th grade, and then our 5th grade students transition to our 6th grade center, and then from there they go to CPA, which is our secondary school, so that is 7th through 12th grade. Our district has 5 core values that we live by and we breathe by, and we hold our staff to a really high bar. So those are community. So we're going to always be a family. We're teachable. We're always a student. We're proactive. We own our circle. We're collaborative. We're always a helper. And then joy. We always maintain hope. So we do some really, really hard work, and we hold our teachers and our students to really high expectations. And the way that we hold each other accountable and we show each other that we love each other is by holding each other to these school values. Right. And because of these values, we've been able to reach so many students. Some things that make our school communities unique is we're located in the heart of downtown. So all 3 of our campuses are downtown. And one of the things about being downtown is space is a luxury that we don't have the pleasure of having, but we get to be innovative and creative. And one of the pillars of our school community that makes us unique is we use the community as our classroom. So we
Oh,
have a
yeah.
real world learning slash project based learning philosophy in our school. So we want to make learning fun, applicable, and supportive of our community. So you'll see our kids walking downtown. You'll see our kids on the streetcar. You'll see our kids on the metro, and you'll see them partnering with community partners. So at Quality Hill, we don't have a playground, but we do have a strong partnership with the city of Kansas City, and we walk to Case Park for recess. We don't
Nice.
have like a traditional library, so we do use the Kansas City Library downtown. We have the pleasure of, all of the intricacies of living downtown. So business people, police officers, unhoused folks, we integrate them into our communities as best we can. So we do a lot of projects to support the unhoused. I think one that I'm most proud of is our sock drive. So our kiddos, our second grade kiddos, notice that our unhoused folks don't have socks. And what are ways that we can support them on a small way that would have a big impact? And that was a kiddo's idea to come up with providing our unhoused folks with socks. And that did have a monumental impact on our community. They are supportive of us, they keep us safe, and they also offer us a lens of perspective.
Yeah.
We've also, with the real world learning lens through our community, we've had career fairs for elementary age students. So who talks about what do you want to be when you grow up, and then
Right.
actually bring those
Right.
folks into the building and giving them opportunities to be able to truly connect with those folks. How did you get to where you are? What are the things that I should do to get there? And what can I do right now so that I can prepare myself to be in a space to do that? We also have a grow your own program. So one of the challenges that we've seen in education is there is just not a whole lot of educators in the city of Kansas City. And so how can we close that gap and also maximize the resources that we do have? So we have kiddos that want to be teachers, specifically our high school students. So we have high school students that are supporting as student teachers in our elementary school buildings.
Oh,
They're
neat.
supporting in PE, they're supporting in art, they're supporting in first grade. They are getting real world hands-on experiences with being teachers. And we also have a partnership with UMKC. So if our students decide that they want to be a teacher, we will pay for them their education and their certification so they can be teachers in our network.
Nice.
So I'm super,
That's
super proud of the work that
beautiful.
we're doing
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. And the fact that you are teaching them how to live in the community in which they're being born and raised is just gives me chills. It just gives me chills. Proud of you
It's a
guys.
beautiful place to work. It's,
It definitely sounds like it. Yeah.
I've worked in many school systems and and other like professions, being a trainer for Southwest Airlines, and Southwest had one of the most beautiful cultures that I've ever worked and been a part of, but Crossroads has a very, very special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Some things that we're super proud of as a district and as a community is we are retaining over 90% of our staff in both of our elementary schools. A lot of schools
Nice.
cannot say that, but folks who come to Crossroads, they stay and they don't leave. And if they do leave, there's a real life-changing events that are happening in their life. But folks, they love the work that we're doing. They're passionate about the students that we serve, and they give their all every single day, and we show up for each other.
Nice. Beautiful. That's it. That's people. People, you got to put
It
people
matters.
before anything else. Kids, therapists, that's what we do here too. Same thing. You just have to, you just do. You just have to. And when you do, it is honored and and it shows. And it shows in the passion that you have for literacy and what's happening with your children and what you're doing in your community. And it's amazing. I'm really thrilled that we got to talk to you guys. Okay. So I have one more question and I ask, and you both have to answer it, okay? I ask every single person that I missed one time. One time I've missed asking this question. Every other time I have. So if you could miraculously, now we know this is miraculously, if you could miraculously solve one challenge in your school, what would you want to solve?
Every kid reading before they leave elementary. They know how to read words before they leave. They know how to read the words on the page. They can comprehend what we're doing. That is my number one thing. I want you to be able to read the words at least. You're going to get the comprehension the rest of your career, but if you can't read them when you leave elementary, it's hard to get you caught up and get
Yeah.
you to, that's my number one passion.
Learn to read to learn. Yeah, absolutely. 1,000%. Great answer. Okay, Jamon.
That's a good question, and I think for me, so being in the the heart of the city, the urban core, the thing that sometimes holds our kids back in our community is they don't have all the resources that they need to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could solve one big problem, it would truly be to ensure that all of our students have access to all the resources that they need.
Yeah.
Um, because our kids they're brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
They are teachable. They are lovable. They are
Mm-hmm.
the future of tomorrow. And if we can just close that one gap of just filling all of their needs, then we can truly jump into this rigorous instruction that our students deserve so that they can achieve the goals that are most important to them.
Awesome. Great answers, both of you. Thank you so much, Shannon and Jamon, for your time. It has been an incredible conversation. You guys are doing amazing things, and that's part of the reason why I love doing these podcasts, because I get to really highlight people that love kids and love what they're doing, and it shows. So let's plug your school again. Where should people go if they want to learn more about what you're doing or your school?
They should go to Crossroads Charter Schools. Look us up on Google, go to our website, connect with us. We would love to give you tours of our campus. We'd love to show you the hard work that we're doing in the building, and we'd love to be able to be a partner with you if you don't have kiddos.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much once again, both of you. God bless the work that you're doing. Appreciate
Thank
it
you.
so much.